I'm a Minotaur, so get lost or get them all. Charizard, no Philly, that's Asgard. Don't miss the screw, no interlude. My only mood is go hard. 27th Street niggas, that's me high. 27th Street niggas, put your hands high.
What's good, YouTube? This is Robert from Team Hotheads coming at you with another deck tech, and it's been a long time coming for this one. This is an update towards our most viewed video as of right now. It was 5 years ago, which is freaking insane for me, but we're updating the Amazonas deck finally. So here we go. I have to say that I am super excited with all the new stuff that came out. I wasn't expecting this deck to get any kind of updates, but hey, sometimes Konami is really nice and goes, why not? So we'll start off with 3 Amazonas Princesses, just like the old deck. This is like your bread and butter card. This is the card you're going to go to for most of your combos. It searches any spell or trap card in the deck. You're most likely going to search for call and then call into whatever other combo pieces you may need at the moment. I feel like the deck has become way more versatile in its searches and finding the solution to cards that you need. And talking about cards that you need, you're really going to need 3 Amazonas Spiritualists. This card can special summon itself from the hand or grave, which is super important. And when it is special summoned, you can search for a polymerization. And there's a lot of fusions in this deck. There's a new fusion card also that really kicks up the deck a lot with polymerization. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to be going from Amazonas Princess, call, then Spiritualist, search for polymerization, then fuse, and then keep kicking it up. Another really important card for the deck now is Amazonas Warchief, another one of the newer cards. Warchief can special summon itself from the hand if you only have Amazonas creatures or no creatures on the field. She is 1900 attack, which is pretty good with the other monsters that we're going to be talking about. She can get a really big boost and she can hit pretty hard. But that search ability will put a spell or trap or polymerization card face down on the field. So I don't ever recommend searching for the quick play cards unless you're looking for like interactions on your opponent's turn, but you will be looking for the trap cards that just came out because they're also really good. Another important 3 of for the deck would be Amazonas Silver Swordmaster. Now, this is debatably the better one of the two because when an Amazonas monster battles, you can search for a card from your grave, a spell trap from your grave, put it in your hand. Awesome card. Recursion is always really good, but the other passive ability that she has in the Pendulum Zone is that she will increase your monster's attack by 100 per level. So it's kind of like a great boost for the deck, especially being so combat focused. The other side of the pendulum, because you can see that this is a 7 scale, is Amazonas Golden Whipmaster. When an Amazonas monster battles, you can destroy a spell or trap card on the field, which is a pretty cool combo card if you want to destroy your own Amazonas Onslaught to get another special summon from your grave, or if you just want to get rid of some back row cards. I feel like this is a much better improvement from the Amazonas, I believe, Shaman was the card's name, that whenever it battled, it destroyed a spell trap card on the field. Now, it also has the 100 attack boost per level as well. And as you can see, it completes the pendulum scale. So the whip is 1 and the sword is 7. So you can do pendulum stuff. The other cool thing about the 2 pendulum monsters is that if they are in the grave and you special summon an Amazonas monster, you can special summon this card from your grave. So keep in mind that when you're fusion summoning, which most of the time you will be fusion summoning, you can actually bring these cards back. And to a quick note for Amazonas Spiritualist is that you can also target the Amazonas cards on your field to bounce to your hand to special summon. So you can set the pendulum monsters down for your pendulum scale and then bounce them with Amazonas Spiritualist, then fusion summon, they will go to the grave, then special summon themselves. So there's a lot of really interesting interactions within their own archetype, and they work really, really well with each other. Dropping down to the two ofs, I have two baby tigers just for consistency. You can run one if you want to add some more hand trap stuff, or if you just want to add more interaction cards. Awesome. Another two of is Amazoness Swordswoman. A lot of you know that I love Swordswoman. I've beat people by the skin of my teeth just with Swordswoman. Her ability to do combat damage to your opponent by the amount of damage you take is really, really good. And a really interesting way, sneaky way, if you will, to get around some of the bigger boss monsters other people are playing. So another one-off is Amazoness Queen. She's a much easier to summon now that we have the pendulum monsters, that we have ways to bring her out of the grave, bring her back to the field, things like that. She's also a really good combat trick when your opponent is just like smashing your face in with a lot of beaters. If you put her on the field, your Amazoness monsters can't be destroyed by battle. So this might buy you a turn or two, who knows? That's why I've run her. And then my only non-Amazoness card will be the True King Lithogasm or Lithgame, or however you want to pronounce his name. I have no idea how you say it. Extra deck is always a great thing to mess with. So nowadays, this is like every Earth deck needs to run one of these bad boys. Going into the spell cards, we're going to go into Amazoness Call. This is what Princess will be searching 9 times out of 10. This also has a grave effect. You can banish this from the grave so that one Amazoness monster can attack all monsters on your opponent's field once, which is great if you have the really big boss monster or the one that gives piercing damage. This is an amazing card. Now, with Amazoness Call, there's a new card, the new fusion card. You can actually search for things and put them into your grave. And I've never done that up until now because we have Amazoness Secret Arts. This is the quick play fusion card. A lot of the times you're going to go into combat, swing, 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 and then fuse, and then swing again for that extra damage. But what I like to do is use Call, send this to grave, and use its grave effect, which is to banish it. The next time you fuse, you can use monsters from your extra deck, which is really important for the new fusion monster. That is freaking awesome, and I can't wait to talk about it. Well, we'll get there in a second. Now we're going to drop to the two ofs. I run two polys because I run a fusion substitute as well. You don't have to run two, you can do three, so just take out the fusion substitute because it is a polymerization. Just however you like to run your fusion-based fusion decks. One of will be for fusion recovery. Then we're going to do a Amazoness Spellcaster. Sometimes dropping a monster's attack down as low as you can is going to be really helpful. I like doing it with Baby Tiger because it affects the original attack, and Baby Tiger original attack is fairly low. If you have a way to just beat over a monster, or maybe it's something like a Borreload or anything like that. But of course we have Monster Reborn because why not? And then Amazoness Village. This is one card that I search for with the War Chief sometimes because of the ability to special summon a monster from your deck when an Amazoness monster is destroyed by a battle or card effects. I feel like this is a really niche card. I've seen some people play it, some people not play it. And then for my last of, I don't have the Foolish Burial Goods right now. I don't know where it is. I lost mine, so that's what this bad boy will be. Foolish Burial Goods. It's going to send the fusion card, the new fusion card, Amazoness Secret Arts, to the grave almost all the time. Just a good card to have in your grave. As for trap cards, the two new trap cards. Alright, so this is like some of the best updates for this deck that I could have imagined. We're going to start with Haul. Whenever this card is activated, you can take one Amazoness monster from your graveyard or face up in the extra deck your new pendulum monsters and either add it to your hand or, if it is a pendulum monster, place it in the pendulum zone. So Amazoness Haul, we have two of these bad boys. That's what this is, Haul. The secondary effect is, if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, while you control an Amazoness monster card, except during the damage step, you can take one of those monsters and gain life point equal to its attack. You can only do this once per turn. The life gain for this effect is so good, especially if you know what your opponent's playing, if you know what their boss monster is or what their highest attack monster is going to be. Most times, people are going to special summon 1,000,000,001 times a game. That's what this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all about. This card is amazing because it takes your pendulum monsters back out of your extra deck zone, puts them on the field, or back in your pendulum zone, depending on what you need. And that life gain is just amazing. The second card is Amazoness Hot Springs, which is this one. These cards are fairly new, so I can't remember their effects all too well. When this card is activated, you can take one Amazoness monster from your deck and either add it to your hand, or if it's a pendulum monster, put it in your pendulum zone. So this is pulling out the monsters out of your deck. So this is one of the better cards. I love to bounce this with the Amazoness card that bounces from the hand or grave. That would be Spiritualist. The secondary effect is when you take battle damage while you control an Amazoness monster, you can gain life equal to the damage you took. So sometimes when you're punching face and your opponent has like some tricks up their sleeve and they're taking damage and you're taking damage, or if your monster is actually beating over your monsters, you can negate some of that damage, which is great because this is a super offensive smash face type of deck. And the one-off is Amazoness Onslaught. I never thought I would drop this card down to 1. I always ran 3 in all my 8 versions of Amazoness because it special summons during combat, an Amazoness from your hand. When it's destroyed, it special summons an Amazoness from your grave. And when an Amazoness battles, you can banish their monster. So even if they're not destroyed. So sometimes this card is like a non-target removal if you know what you're doing. Now, that's the main deck. I have to say a lot of the combos are almost all combat oriented. But now we're going to go into the extra deck, the best part of the deck, because now we're running 3 Empress. I think we've always run 3 Empress. This is another very great card. It gives all your Amazoness piercing. Your Amazoness cards can't be destroyed by battle of card effects, can't be targeted. It's an amazing card. It does a lot of support for the deck, but it's not the best card. I would have to say it's the second best card of the deck. You almost always want to end with this or the new boss monster because they are honestly amazing. We're going to go into the next 3 of, which is a new one. Amazoness Pet Liger. This is another really interesting and combo heavy card for the deck. You need a level 5 or higher Amazoness monster and then any other Amazoness monster to summon it from your deck. It is a strong 2900 attacker. If your opponent is going to attack your monsters, it has to attack Liger first. So it's almost like the older Liger, but this one has the secondary effect of destroying one of your Amazoness cards to special summon an Amazoness from your grave. So a lot of times you're using Liger to special something from your grave, get effects, get combos going off, and then fusing off with it, or using it just to protect yourself or your other cards from being destroyed. The next card is the actual like big boss monster. The new update is Amazoness Augusta. Now she has quite a bit of text in her box. So you need an Amazoness fusion monster and another Amazoness monsters to summon her. So your opponent cannot target other Amazoness you control with card effects. Also, cards cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So your Amazoness cards are protected, and she doesn't protect herself, but if you have 2 of them on the field, or if you have Empress, that's like full-on protection for just about everything. If this card was fusion summoned using Amazon Empress or Amazoness Queen as material, it can make a second attack during the battle phase. This being able to punch twice is really important. Empress is the fusion, Queen is the one-of, or Princess, if she is on the field, counts as Queen. So you want to always use those guys. Most of the time I'll use King Liger to special summon Princess from the grave because she's almost always in the grave. Fuse off into Amazoness Augusta. Her last effect is, if this card is fusion summoned, you can special summon one Amazoness monster from your deck. That's going to be War Chief most of the time, or maybe Baby Tiger, just depending where in your combo you want to end off with. Sometimes you'll want a beater, sometimes you'll want more searching, things like that. Amazoness Augusta is an amazing fusion card. It's like one of the best updates for this deck. I love it. 2 pieces. We're still running for the 2 ofs, Pet Ligers. It gains attack when it attacks. When it does attack, it'll permanently reduce something by 500. And it has to be attacked. 800. And it has to be attacked first. It's a really good defensive card. It's not played as much anymore. Most of the time when I'm fusion summoning out of the extra deck, I'll just fuse off a Pet Liger and an Empress and then go straight into Augusta. And that's almost always what it's used for. It's not a very useful card anymore. Going down to our 1-ofs, we have the Conqueror Star combo. Because we have a lot of 5-ofs or higher in our deck now, we can use these for combat tricks. Mostly everybody knows what these bad boys do at this point. And then for the last card in my extra deck, as like a permanent staple, would be 1 Mrs. Radiant. Sometimes when I want to pendulum summon and I want to bring out 2 things, I'll use this. It's just very dependent. Maybe I'm like desperate to get something out of the grave, I'll pull this out. Maybe I just want a little bit of boost, I'll use the Mrs. Radiant. One of the biggest things I want to talk about when it comes to this deck is these 2 on the field is almost critical for every kind of combo, every kind of play. If you have both of them on the field, your Empress goes from a 2800 to a 4200 with piercing. King Liger goes from 2900 to a 4300. Augusta, which is like the best thing ever, goes from a 3200 to a 5200. So get wrecked, Utopia Lightning. And Tiger goes from 25 to 39. Those are big numbers for this deck, especially considering that all you want to do is punch, especially punch with piercing or punch with multiple attacks. I have OTK'd plenty of people with this deck. I have definitely surprised people with the amount of damage it has output wise. Turn 1 plays are really good. Turn 2 plays have been. The deck is really consistent with searching out what it needs when it needs it. And I have to say that this is probably one of the best rogue decks that I've played. It's definitely one of my favorite rogue decks. It's not like Maldolce's, as you can see my mat, but it definitely is a great powerhouse and has a lot of tricks up its sleeves. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys have fun playing it. Have a good day.
That's what he did. Ups, downs, downs, up, that's all I know. I'm looking down from where I was at on the floor. They hating on you, what you expect, now I know. It made me stronger, it made me stronger.